end of the month if he gets out. I wanted to talk to you about this CO and this guy that escaped from an Alabama prison. Casey White, 38 years old. About a week and a half ago, they said this guy escaped from prison, and that he might have taken the CO as kidnapped the CO, a female named Vicky White. The prisoner and the CO have the same last name, but there's no relation. But it turns out that perhaps Vicky White, the CO, actually helped Casey White escape.
Right.
Have you ever heard of anything crazy like this? And this is a woman that's been working as a CO, not just for like a couple of months.
Right. No, she was finna retire.
For years.
She was finna retire. Hey, look, she was up for retirement April 29th. The paperwork hadn't been finalized, but she was up for retirement. She was finna go. And I'm sure that pension she was gonna get is out the window. But I'm wondering, how did she get access to help him get out like that? And I don't believe it's no kidnap. I believe she assisted him and they ran off together. You know, I really believe that.
Well, there was an article last week that said that the Marshal Services are now claiming they believe that she assisted him. So I want to know, what's the relationship that some of these COs actually have with the prisoners?
Well, you have to realize that it's a lot of women working in prisons now. It's a job for them. It's a career for them. Some of them who otherwise tried other things in life and say, you know what, this is a solid future. So they go in and they get these jobs, but at the same time, they're still women. They're still emotional beings, depending on what their background is. You know what I mean? You don't know what their emotions is going through. But I've seen on numerous occasions, at least 5 times, where an inmate was messing with a CO. You know what I mean? They bringing in weed, they bringing in tobacco, they bringing in a whole lot of things. One CO got walked up off the yard. She was pregnant by an inmate. You know what I mean? He got out and they went to be together. You know what I mean? And I knew this through another CO that just like, man, I can't, talking to another CO, and he was telling the other dude, I can't believe, Vicky ran off with the dude, and you know what I mean? And this shit really happens, Alex, all across the country.
No doubt about it. This guy, Casey White, for those who don't know, is a white supremacist. He's like 6'9", 300 pounds, got all kind of white supremacist tattoos. So if she's involved with this guy, she picked like one of the worst type of dudes to even get active with.
Well, it all depends, because he might be, mentally feeding her what she's been looking for, because she's older. She's 50-something, I believe.
She's 56 years old, and he's 38.
Right, so he over there doing 1,000 push-ups a day, jumping up and down on that thing, man, and you know what I mean? And she just going to be disappointed, though, if he ever strike out on her and going about his life and leave her to fend for herself with the charges that she going to be looking up against, man. Now, that's the thing that happens often, you know what I mean? So
how many female COs have you interacted with in all the times you've been locked up?
A lot. You know what I mean? And I had I'm not going to use the term relationship, but I've had situations where other staff from the prison told me, stay out her office. Dude, she's an authority. She's if she called me to her office, and I don't obey, you going to the hole, you know what I mean? But at the same time, certain dudes, it's still man and woman. Certain women, they can see how you carry yourself, how you conduct yourself, how you, handle your things in life, and then what they also do is when you talking on the phone, they could see you on the phone, go punch a button on the thing and listen to that phone call. They have that kind of technology now. So I could always hear them when they click into the phone call. You can hear it, you know what I mean? And they seeing what you're talking about. They hear you macking, or they hear you saying certain things. And I don't care what position of power man or woman is. You know what I mean? Feelings can grow. You know what I mean? And that's just all around the world. Now, I wasn't those dudes when a female CO walked by. I don't care how fat her ass is or how good she looked. I didn't give her the opportunity to catch me just looking like that. You know what I mean? But that was me on the street. You know what I mean? Some of these dudes is really, hey, Miss Johnson, hey, how you doing today? You know, they really putting the pressure on them. And if she lonely, some of her husband left and all kind of shit. Some of these women move out of state to take these jobs. They feed into that shit, you know what I mean? And that's the thing about it. If I wasn't married and my wife wasn't coming damn near every other week or whatever to see me, who's to say I wouldn't have tried to holler at one? You know what I mean?
Do you think a female CO is a little bit more sympathetic to the prison population, or can they just be just as hard as the guys?
No, I done seen something just as hard. I seen a lieutenant, man, and she was about her bull. She wasn't bullshit. You know what I mean? I knew her when she was a regular CO. You know, she wasn't bullshitting then. You know what I mean? And now some of them carried and conduct themselves, and not to even think about. It was just like a female on the street. Some of these the COs, you could look at them and say they're a little weak, and you'll say something to them, and they don't get mad that first time. The next time you're gonna say something a little, different. I've been caught drinking by COs or female COs and shit, and they walked it off like they didn't see it. You know what I mean? You open my cell door, I got 3 gallons in the sink. You know what I mean? And they let me make it. You know what I mean? So what you do probably would have booked me. I'd have been in the hole or whatever. So it's not just the female COs. It's also when the guys work at the female prison. These dudes knocking these bras down.
Yeah.
But the bras is like, we in jail. We need some. You know what I mean? We with it. And dudes don't stick to the code of what their job structure is supposed to be. All the women out here on the street, you know what I mean? But you want to be having, sexual intercourse with these inmates. So it happens both ways, actually.
So that asks the question then, should females not work in male facilities and vice versa? Definitely male CEOs shouldn't be working in female facilities. Thanks for watching this video clip of Streets and Scholars podcast with Alex, Alonso, and FG. If you want to listen to the entire episode, go to your favorite podcast platform and type in Streets and Scholars. And thanks for listening to another episode of Streets and Scholars.